there, welcome to Two Birds. I'm Fiona and welcome back if you've practiced with me before. Today's class is the third in my morning series of classes. It's a complete flow, and this particular flow is more energizing and warming. We'll conclude practice with seated pranayama and a brief meditation, so you might like to have a folded blanket or cushion there toward the end of class. And I really hope you enjoy. Thanks so much for joining. Namaste.
And begin your practice in any comfortable seat. You can kneel or cross your legs and use any props under your seat to help you feel easeful and supported. Create an elegant length through your spine and your side waist, lifting tall. And once you're situated, gently close your eyes, settle in. Turning your attention to your breath, just as it is. Notice your next inhale. Notice your next exhale. And once you have a sense of your breath, very gradually start to lengthen it out. Tuning into that feeling of inner expansion as your breath deepens, the space each breath creates. Fully occupying each moment with your full attention, taking in as much detail as you can now. Feeling of your breath waking you up. The touch of air on your skin. The outline and footprint of your body. The general hum of the morning as it starts to unfold. Leaning in toward this space, this field of presence, clarity. And take this time to set an intention for your day ahead. See yourself moving through your day with this vivid clarity and ease, a calm breath. Take 2 more cycles of breath. Lowering your chin toward your chest, let your eyes fall to the back of your eyelids and gently blink your eyes open, let the light in. Make your way onto all fours. We'll move through a few rounds of cat and cow. So just balancing your weight in your hands, your shins, tops of the feet, and start to wave your spine. Arching and rounding. Practicing long, deep inhales, full, complete exhales. And when it feels natural for you on your exhale, transitioning into child's pose, bowing in, reaching a little longer through your arm bones, spreading your fingers. And this is your rest pose. You can return here anytime during your practice, whenever you need to take rest or do less. And take the next few breaths to make your way into downward facing dog. And feel free to keep this first down dog less structured. You can move and sway, pedal and stretch. Find your optimal stride and shape here. And then settle in, relax into a place of stillness. Your eyes, ears focused in this moment, your practice. And taking a half flow now, on your next breath in, ripple your spine forward to a plank pose, gaze forward, body long, strong, and then softly bend your knees, glide back into downward facing dog. Again, plank pose on your in-breath. Bend the knees, pike your hips, land back, downward facing dog. Once more here, a full vinyasa, forward to your high push-up on your in-breath. Then just drop your knees, your chest and chin come all the way down onto your belly. Set up for sphinx pose, walking onto your forearms, extending, engaging your legs, hollowing your belly, and then just find an easeful curve through your spine. Stay for an extra cycle of breath. Inner thighs rolling in toward one another. On your exhale, release, hands by your low ribs, transitioning back, viral forwards into downward facing dog. And as you progress through your practice this morning, know that the push-ups and the type of back bend you take in your flow are all your choice. So we're going to build into some deeper back bends as we flow. But if a half flow or a mild sphinx feels right for you this morning, stay with it. It's your practice. From here, completing your next exhale, walk to the top of your mat. And when you arrive, take a halfway lift, hands to shins, straight legs, flat back. And then exhale into an easy forward fold, holding onto the frame of your elbows, softly bend your knees. Let your head hang loose and heavy. Release your hands to the floor, hang in ragdoll. And then just sip a slow breath in, rise all the way to stand, arms reach wide and up. Exhale, press your hands to your heart center. You're going to move through a few rounds of sun salutes now, beginning with Surya Namaskar C. Breathing in, circle your arms overhead, gazing up. Exhale and forward fold over your legs. A little soft bend in the knees there. Breathing in, come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. On your exhale, step your right foot back, low lunge, right knee softly down. Arms glide up, breathing in. Stay for your exhale. Breathing in, reach a little taller. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping back, downward facing dog. On your inhale, float forward, plank pose. On your exhale, lower to the floor. Hands by your low ribs there, gently ease up into cobra pose, bhujangasana. Keep it low and slow. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Take a full cycle of breath. And then on your inhale, raise your right leg up and back, down dog splits. On your exhale, step up to your hands, left knee softly down, low lunge. Arms rise on your inhale. Pause for your exhale. One more breath. And release. Hands to the floor, stepping up, top of your mat. Breathing in, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in. Breathing in, rise, come to stand. Exhale, hands to prayer at your heart center. Left side now, same rhythm, breathing in, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step the left foot back, low lunge. Breathing in, circle your arms overhead. Stay for your exhale, lower body steady. Inhale, reach up, lengthen up. Hands to the floor. And stepping back, downward facing dog. Breathing in, forward to your high push-up. Breathing out, lower to the floor. Stay with cobra here, breathing in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in and out. Inhaling, raise the left leg up and back. Exhale, step up. Low lunge. Keep the feeling tone of your breath really full and deep around the ribs. On your exhale, hands to the floor and stepping up. Inhale, full breath, long through the waist. Exhale, forward fold. Breathing in, come all the way to stand. Exhale, pause, Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a moment, connect with your breath, breathing up toward your thumbs, down toward your belly. 2 rounds, Surya Namaskar A now. Breathing in, arms overhead. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, stepping back, plank pose. Breathing in here, no rush. Exhale, chaturanga, to the floor, locust pose now. Take the arms alongside your body. As you feel yourself breathe in, lift up, arms, chest, legs, extending through your limbs. And exhale, hands to the mat. Press back, downward facing dog. Settle in, take 5 to 8 cycles of breath. Releasing any restraint in your mouth or your jaw. And just keep tuning into the space of your body, observing your breath, and letting it inform your movement, your choices as you flow. At the end of your exhale, looking forward between your thumbs and travel to the top of your mat. Breathing in, lengthen, lift halfway. Exhale, release, fold in. Breathing in, rise up. Hands to your heart. One more round, Surya Namaskar A. Circle the arms overhead, looking up. Breathing out, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, looking forward. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Moment of pause, breathing in. Exhale and lower. Back bend of your choice now. Upward dog, cobra or locust, slow motion. And transition back, downward facing dog. Practicing deep, unhurried breath. And spreading the light of awareness through your whole body. Feel your feet, your toes, the back seam of your legs, your upper body, all the way down to the edge of your fingers. Take one more full breath in. Look forward between the thumbs. End of your exhale, step or float, top of your mat. Lengthen on your inhale, folding in. Feel your feet rooting down as you unravel, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Make contact with your breath. Walk your big toes to touch there. On your next breath in, bend the knees, come into chair pose, reach your arms by your ears. Drop anchors into your heels. Motion your hips a little further down and back, sit low. Go ahead, press your palms, lower your hands on your exhale. Take a deep breath in. And to exhale, twist to your left. Hook your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Smile your collarbones open, proud across your chest. And if you find that your twist interrupts your smooth breath, just ease back. Taking your right forearm in front of the shins instead, left hand small of the back. So you keep your kneecaps even and in line. Just see if you can spread your breath a little thinner, a little longer. And from here we'll move into a lunge twist. Keep your arms in place, just send the gaze down. Transfer your weight into your left foot to balance. Very slowly hover and step your right foot back into a lunge. Reset if you need to. Find your feet. Keep hugging your left hip in. Raise and engage your right thigh super straight, so you're standing right on the tips of your toes. 2 more breaths. And exhale, eyes down, release your fingertips to the floor, walk a quarter turn around to your right. Wide-legged forward fold, wide stance, parallel your feet, lift up halfway, breathing in. Exhale, fold in, take 8 slow, deep breaths. And try and avoid locking your knees out there, so you're actively contracting the thighs. And gently tipping forward through the soles of your feet to find balance. Buttocks in line with your heels. Crown of your head tipping down toward the floor. On your inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, walk around to reframe your left foot. Pivot your toes forward, setting up for high lunge. So you're staggering your feet, hips width apart. On your inhale, rise up. Feel the sides of your neck nice and easy. Hug your triceps in. Lift up through your elbows and through to your fingers. Press your palms, lower your hands to your heart center. Preparing for warrior 3. Try and keep your weight in your left heel. As you tip forward, float your right leg up, torso forward. Once you have your balance, explore finding symmetry across your hip points, tilting your right hip down. Extending through the crown of your head to your right heel. Take 1 more smooth cycle of breath. Release. Softly down, land in a runner's lunge, fingertips to the floor, and just pause for a breath. And then step back through your flow, either a vinyasa or simply return to your downward facing dog, and we'll all meet up there. When you arrive, reaching your hips away from your wrists, lengthening through your upper body, feeling your spine decompress with your breath, re-establishing that even cadence. Breathing in, look forward. End of your exhales, step or float, top of the mat. Inhale, slide the hands to your shins, make a flat back in, and exhale, forward fold. Coming all the way up to stand, raise your arms. Exhale, Tadasana. Big toes to touch, standing at the top of your mat. Next breath in, return to your chair pose, sitting low, lengthening your tailbone down toward the floor, feeling your abdominals gather toward your navel. Press your palms, lower your hands. Take another sip of breath. Fill and flare the ribs, and then exhale, twist to your right now. And in most cases here, our twists nearly always send one hip out to the side. So here our hips might swizzle to the left, so just check in, glance down at your knees, see that your knees or your left knee is no further forward than your right. Start to roll the right shoulder head open, send the gaze up, stay low. And preparing to balance, just the eyes down, arms in place, right foot stays grounded, left foot steps back into your revolved prayer twist. And give your legs, your spine a little length and space when you steady. Trace the back seam of your shape with your mind's eye, creating a straight line of energy from your left heel to your tailbone to the back of the skull. Breathe a full breath. Exhale, eyes down, hands down, walk around to your left now for Prasarita Padottanasana, spread leg forward fold. 2 straight legs, breathing in, lift up halfway. Exhale and fold in. Calm the rhythm of your breathing, making space for a deeper breath in, complete breath out. Breathing and lifting up halfway, lengthening your spine. Exhale, pivot your feet, walk your hands to frame your right foot facing forward, setting up for your high lunge. Let your in-breath bring you upright. Invite your out-breath to ground and balance you into your shape. Try and move away from any rigidity in your body, so just keep scanning your shape for subtle adjustments to balance your effort with a sense of ease. Press your hands to prayer, hands to your heart. Transitioning into your warrior 3 now. So firming, gathering your side waist obliques toward your navel, so you're steady, floating your left leg. Extending forward through your torso, back through your left heel equally. And try and keep your legs nice and firm, not soggy. You'll just feel a little lighter, more stable. And release. Come into a runner's lunge, land your left foot. Take a breath. And then flow through your vinyasa. There's no rush. Take your unhurried movement with your breath as you go. We'll all meet up. Downward facing dog. Keep anchoring your hands down, even pressure into all the knuckles of your fingers there. On your next breath in, raise your right leg up and back, down dog splits. On your exhale, stepping up for warrior 2 now. Rising up with your in-breath. Land on your out-breath, arms reaching wide. Ground and seal your feet to the mat. And just notice how your core might want to give up here. Just instead, on your next out-breath, hug all 4 sides of your rib cage in and then down toward your hips. Then as you inhale, breathe into the spine evenly. Lunge just a little deeper. Next breath in, 5-point star. Reach your arms up, straighten your legs. Press your palms, exhale, temple pose. So turn your heels in, angle your toes out, turn toward the long edge of your mat. Bending the knees, hands to prayer at your heart. So you might like to sway a little side to side, experiment with turning the toes out just a little bit more. And try and bring your torso upright there. Make contact with your breath. On your in-breath, straighten your legs, turning your right toes forward to 12 o'clock, preparing for triangle pose, re-lengthening the legs, reaching out over your right leg for Trikonasana. So just checking in here, the center of your right thigh, your right knee and toes all pointing forward. Take 3 full breaths. Taking your left hand to your left waist now, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Right fingertips to the floor, raising your left leg. Once you have your balance, try gripping your right outer hip back toward your back heel. Left hand to the ceiling, perhaps sending your gaze up as you expand across your chest. Take one more breath. And release. Hands down, left foot to the floor, runner's lunge. Pause if you need to, and then step back through your vinyasa or move into downward facing dog. Taking a full cycle of breath in and out, clearing out, reset. On your inhale, slowly raise your left leg up and back, down dog splits. On your exhale, step your left foot up, warrior 2. So just moving through space in sync with your breath, so you feel graceful. Take a few moments here to adjust your alignment. Find an equal engagement of both arms. Steady, focused gaze. On your breath in, 5-point star, arms reach up, 2 straight legs. Exhale, press your palms, come into temple pose. 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock with your feet. And this time, lower your hands to the tops of your knees. Let your shoulders shrug up toward your ears. And then drop your buttocks down a little lower. So you relax, supported now with your hands. Drop your right shoulder forward, motion your left shoulder back. So torso leans forward there. Just pause for a few breaths, feeling the space widen and lengthen in your upper right shoulder blade. And then just switch sides, nice and smooth. Left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. Returning to center, straighten both legs, rising up. Transition into triangle pose to your left. Aligning your feet, left toes pointing to the top of your mat. Breathe your arms wide, side body long, and then hinge out over the midline of your left leg. Actively pushing the floor away with your feet. So you have an upward rebounding energy rising up the legs, gives you a feeling of lightness. And then expand through the reach of your arms across your chest. Right hand to your right hip now, preparing for your balance, half moon. Transfer your weight into your left heel, left fingertips down. Slowly raise your right leg. So try and keep that right leg super strong, right toes flexed. Turning your torso to your right, feeling all your limbs reaching away from the center of your body. Breathing in. Exhale and release, runner's lunge, ground yourself. And then take a flow, either a half flow, full flow, or take rest in downward facing dog. There's a rest coming up. Take 2 more cycles of breath here in your downward facing dog. And on your exhale, release your knees to the floor, sitting back into your version of child's pose. Knees about hips width apart there, forearms to the floor, or wrap your hands by your feet. Invite yourself to curl and bow in, letting go of the effort across your shoulders, your face. Next breath in, just looking forward, and adjust your forearms shoulder width apart. So preparing for forearm plank, make sure your thumbs aren't too close together. So draw the elbows in, forearms parallel, stepping your feet out long, or modify by resting your knees to the floor. So most importantly, you're going to swallow the abdominals in and up, create a light tuck to your tailbone. So you've got that stability between your forearms and the end of your body. Then spread the architecture of your upper back. Then relax your expression. We're just here for a few breaths. Oftentimes the mind tires before your body. Stick with it. And then pressing into your forearms now, raise your hips. So you come into that down dog shape on your forearms. Perhaps walk your feet in a little closer toward your face, bend the knees if you need to. Just trying to keep the spine extending, head hovers. Keep breathing. On your inhale, look forward between your hands, bend the knees, and then spring forward to a plank pose if it's possible. Elbows straighten. And then move straight over into right side Vashisthasana, side arm balance on your right. If you'd like to modify here, you can just place the right knee to the floor, or you can stay on both feet. Just spin the heels to the right. Just be aware of your whole body shape, engagement. And for your last few breaths here, if you'd like to add on, raise your left leg, step your left toes, coming into Wild Thing, piking your hips nice and high, and looking back. Release back to your plank pose with a strong core. Stay with me, stay in your plank. Side plank on your left now, your version. Stabilize your left shoulder blade in, raise your left side waist into a rainbow away from the floor. Top arm can reach overhead or straight up. If you're feeling strong, raise your right leg, step your right toes behind you, and then lift up into your Wild Thing. One more breath. And release back to your plank pose. And then hips up and back, downward facing dog. Last one for the class. Well done, reset. Calm your breath. And then from here, we're just going to make our way to the top of our mat, setting the feet up hip width apart. And then go ahead, slide the palms of your hands under your feet for gorilla arms. Nice counter pose after all our weight bearing on our hands. On your next inhale, find some length, extending your spine. You can keep your knees bent, just reach out through your spine, sideways. Exhale and fold in toward your legs. Elbows can splay wide. And try and lean your weight forward toward your toes and your hands pulling up against that resistance to lengthen through the back of your wrists. Nice long, deep breath to clear out. And then release your hands now. Widen your feet away from one another, melt the hips down. We'll come into Malasana, yogi squat. And if your knees don't like deep flexion, you can always take an easy forward fold here. Soft bend in the knees. Catch your elbows. Drop your head. If you're in squat, just a little light press, elbows to the inner knees. See if you can just swim your torso back a little in space. Lift up a little taller, relax your belly. And then from here, we'll make our way down onto our backs. Middle of your mat, we'll set up for bridge pose and possibly wheel if you're feeling open. Just aligning your feet hips width apart, arms alongside your body, spine straight. On your exhale, firm your belly. On your inhale, lifting up into your bridge pose. We'll take 5 breaths here. Getting that feeling you're dragging your heels toward your shoulders to activate the glutes and the hamstrings. Keep the weight in your big toes there so your knees don't flare out. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lower down vertebra by vertebra. Keep the feet on the floor, just pause for a moment. And if you'd like to take wheel, you can for your second back bend here. If you'd like to return to your bridge pose, follow along with me, arms alongside your body. Exhale to engage your abdominals and then inhale to lift into your bridge pose. 5 smooth cycles of breath. Reaching your tailbone toward your heel, toward the back of your knees, and then driving down through your heels. And just release at the end of your 5th breath. And then gather the knees in toward your chest. Mush your low back into the mat with a little rock, side to side. And aim to cool down now, calm the nervous system as we approach the end of our practice. Our next sequence is an inversion, and I invite you to take a shape that embodies those qualities of calm. So for some of you, you may wish to cycle through a shoulder stand flow, plow, shoulder stand, returning to plow in a fish pose, or even headstand if you're proficient and comfortable standing on your head. Alternatively, if you'd like a gentler practice, grab your folded blanket, place it under your buttocks, and you'll raise your legs toward the ceiling. So just take the next few minutes to move slow, carefully, and cycle through your version of turning upside down. And inversions have that lovely benefit of improving our circulation. They place our head below our heart And as a result, our hearts don't have to work so hard to pump oxygen and blood to the upper portion of our body, especially our brain. And our lymphatic system, which is responsible for removing toxins, bacteria from our systems, is assisted by gravity here when we upend ourselves. We also offer our bodies a chance to calm and cool down after moving in our practice. So we have 1 more minute here in our inversion. Just managing your time if you're moving through shoulder stand flow. And taking the next 5 breaths to make your way down and rest. Child's pose if you've been in headstand. Fish pose to complete your shoulder stand cycle. Knees in toward your chest, removing the blanket if you've been in a modified inversion there. So next few breaths, just choose for yourself here what's going to be most helpful. You might like to fold into a reclined twist. 5 breaths each side. You might like to come into a happy baby, catching the outer edges of your feet, knees toward your armpits, soles of the feet toward the ceiling. Just tuning into your own intuition, your own body as you wind down. So no rush here. We're all going to meet up in a final seat for a forward fold and then sit cross-legged. So extending both legs out straight in front of you once you're upright, finding balance on your sit bones, sending the arms tall, and folding forward when you're ready. Take 5 breaths. And then making your way now into a comfortable seat for our breathing sequence, final meditation to close your morning practice. Today's pranayama is called Violoma B breathing. It's a simple calming practice to downregulate your nervous system, brings about a feeling of alertness and also calm. So in our asana practice, our moving practice, our eyes play an essential role in balancing our bodies in space as we move. In pranayama, our breathing practice, our ears become our more dominant sense, listening into the rhythm, the flow, nuances of our breath. So as you sit quietly here, eyes closed, tune into the feeling tone of your breath with your full awareness. Establish an easeful breath in and out. In Violoma B breathing, we move toward interrupting our out-breath with a series of pauses. So you can imagine your exhale a bit like climbing down a ladder with a pause at each step. As you continue to breathe now, regulate your breath so you're breathing in for the count of 6, out for the count of 6. And see your lungs in 3 parts. The top of your lungs, middle and sides of your lungs, bottom of your lungs. In this practice, as you exhale, we pause and hold the breath in between each part. So it's a smooth breath in for the count of 6. And then as you exhale, you empty the top of your lungs, count of 2, pause for 2. Empty middle and sides of your lungs, count of 2, pause for 2. Empty the bottom of your lungs, count of 2, pause for 2. Inhale, count of 6. We'll do a few rounds. I'll talk you through 2 rounds and then continue on at your own pace. Wherever you're at, empty your lungs completely. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, top of the lungs. Pause. Empty middle and sides. Pause. Empty the lower lungs. Pause. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And slowly empty chest. Pause. Middle. Pause. Bottom. Pause. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue on 3 more rounds in your own time. And when you're ready, return to your natural breath now, spontaneous breath. Letting your breathing effort relax and taper off. Resting in this state of effortless awareness. And know that the quality and rhythm of your breath is reflected in the quality of your mind. Notice how the more relaxed, the more clear, quiet, present-oriented the mind, the softer, silent, the more shallow the breath becomes. Take a few moments to become familiar with how this feeling lives in your body. So you can come back to this calm place anytime during your day without the doggies barking. Sorry. And sealing your practice now with your intention. And setting your mind, your day, and yourself in that direction. When you're ready, let your breath deepen. Gently blink the eyes open, let the light in. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Namaste.